G'day Steel Nation, how you going? It's Mark here, Mark Davidson from Steel Nation Australia.
What's going on, West Country? What's that? Let's go! Baby! Yes! Yes! Let's go!
What's the deal with the schedule?
So I think the stereotype that we drink Fosters, and the first Foster I saw was in Pittsburgh. It's a true story.
Yeah,
The
I've
first
only
ever
seen-
Foster I saw was in America. I've never
I
seen one
thought that
here.
was like Australia for beers.
For what? Alrighty, Steel Nation, welcome back to G'day Steel Nation on Steelers Nation Australia, and also this episode will be recorded on the Steel Curtain Network. So I'm live right now, and there's a lot of people in the chat. If you don't know me from the Steelers Nation Australia, I'm here on YouTube as well, so I'll be getting comments from the live stream, but yeah, also recording this for Steel Curtain Network, and we have a lot to catch up on. Because over the weekend, and I'll say a good hello to the chat very shortly, but over the weekend, I went to my mate's wedding, had a really good time. I'm now in day 3 of my hangover. Being 35 plus isn't that easy with the hangovers, but I still tackle the beers the exact same way. It was a really fun time though. One of my best mates, Blake, got married to his now wife, Michaela, and it was just so much fun. Weddings are an awesome time. I was part of the groom's party. We went down about 45 minutes from my house in a really awesome spot. Weather was pretty good. Woke up in the morning. We started playing Mario Kart. I did some, got some food in the morning, coffee and bacon egg roll. And then next minute, here we are at the wedding. Getting photos and, downing beers, and then the reception came. Some tears on my part too, but it was really fun. It was really awesome. So I didn't get to see too much of the rookie training camp thing. Like I've seen some videos and highlights and some photos of some players. So we'll talk a bit about that. But one of the big topics I want to get into today is that George Pickens thing, man. That George Pickens thing is wild. 4 days ago, George Pickens was traded to the Cowboys. I was a bit like, oh, it's good, but it's bad. Same time, it's probably better for the team. And that's my title is the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team first. I'm always team first. I'm not going to watch this George Pickens Steelers and say, well, he's my favorite player. And he wasn't, by the way. I liked him, but now he said some words and he's really burnt the bridge. And I wish the Steelers would have had played the Cowboys this year, because it would have been fun to see Joey Porter Jr. Versus George Pickens again, like they did training camp a few years ago. So there is some talkings around that Pickens wasn't the most liked receiver or person in the locker room, and we kind of saw bits of that throughout his 3 years in Pittsburgh. So like I said, I think it's better for team first. Get rid of the negativity, the toxicity, and we've done it now with a few receivers, including Deontay, Claypool, AB. There's many receivers like that, Le'Veon Bell to a certain extent, right, running back. So Steelers they're used to this, and this could be a thing where they just took a flyer on him, and they knew that he had some personality problems that didn't catch up the team, didn't mature quick enough, and now it's like the Cowboys. It's a Cowboys issue. The Steelers also still have to resolve the receiver number 2 position like they had it last year. But over the weekend too, Omar Khan, I believe he said at the rookie camp that he's looking into it and it won't make the same mistakes as last time. So let me go to the chat. Go to the live chat first. As I said, Steel Curtain Network. If you're listening on the podcast version, of G'day Steelers Nation. I've got the chat in here too, so I'll try and get some comments from the chat. Real life Steelers fans as we go. And if you do want to check out my YouTube channel, it's Steelers Nation Australia. And I've got some big plans coming in the future too. Something that's not going to be spin the wheel, but something similar. So let's go to the chat and see how everyone's doing. I've been away, I think 4 or 5 days over the wedding. G'day, Sean. He's welcome back. He's a new member. Thank you, Sean, once again for being a part of Hooley Dooly University. G'day, Jedevil. G'day, Gene. G'day, Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And I think we all are too. G'day, Michael. What's up? G'day, George. G'day, TD. I can't see. There's a bit of glare in my room today. G'day, JJ52. He says, Pickett to Pickens, which would mean, I guess, that Kenny Pickett is now a Brown. There's also a funny meme too. And not really a meme. It's a funny picture with the Cleveland Browns and Kenny Pickett. And he has his hands really small, like really, really small around the football. And it does look like that he has tiny, tiny hands. Like, yeah, it's pretty funny. So the Browns, the Browns have some problems. Like, let's be honest. They got 5 quarterbacks and no real direction there with their franchise quarterback. I know the Steelers don't have a franchise quarterback at the moment either. Could be Will Howard maybe, but it looks like he's going to be QB3. And Mason Rudolph right now is a front runner, and I'm okay with that, with Mason Rudolph. G'day, Michael P. What's up? G'day, Zoo. What's going on? Zoo Z. That's a pretty cool name. G'day. Who else we got? George T. I said. G'day, 46 in the house. Steeler Chick 46. So let's jump into it. 7 minutes in, I've talked about the wedding. I've talked about the character issues that is George Pickens. So by the way, the wedding was really fun. It was so much fun. I had the best time. I would love to do it all again. We did the entrance. I came in with the John Cena music with the fellas. I was part of the groom's party. That was a lot of fun too. So, but let's get into it. What George Pickens said, and I know every other YouTuber out there has already done it, and even on SEN right now, this has been delayed. And I won't say all the words because there's no way I'm saying that, but he did apparently say this on one of a thread, on a thread of like a Steelers. I think it was Beanie Bishop and Peyton Wilson. George Pickens is calling out the organization. They are the cheapest organization. Ain't no stacking year after year. They gonna let them blank go too soon as it's time. Laugh my ass off. Now, I guess that's the reason. My first reaction, right, when I saw this was George Pickens 4 days after that things had been settled after the trade. Right after. Like, this was the point and maybe why the Steelers got rid of him. They didn't want to pay all this money for a headache. And they don't think they are that cheap. Now, you could have a big argument and you know, reference to other Pittsburgh organizations and Art Rooney this. Does Art Rooney need to buy? Art Rooney need to, you know, get more coaches and whatever. You could have a massive argument for days and days. And I don't want to go down that direction just yet. But George Pickens is calling them cheap, saying they're a cheap organization. Already firing shots 4 days after, 4 or 5 days after, straight away, already burning bridges. There's no way now that George Pickens even comes back to the Steelers because of that. Then on the flip side, George Pickens said, looks like he put an Instagram reel or Instagram photo, and maybe his agent told him to write this. But there was a photo of him on his Instagram. He does always communications through there too. Literally on a plane, no service, just landed, seeing straight lies from Pitt fans. He spelt that P-I-T-T, fans. Stop with AI, trying to make a story. I'm very happy with everything the Steel City did for me. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, GP. Now, in a sense, is that just a bounce back of course, once you put it on the internet, it's always going to stay there. Every NFL player, basketball, NHL, no matter what you put out there, someone's going to screen capture it and then put it onto Twitter or X. It's going to stay there forever, right? All my videos on Steel Nation Oz is going to stay there, right? Things I've said in the past are probably going to stay there unless I delete them. The internet is forever. People can grab videos, captures, screens, and all that kind of stuff. So maybe it looks like that George Pickens is blaming AI, that it wasn't him. And you know what? For some sense, we might not know if this is true. We don't know exactly if that was him who wrote that, or if someone made up an AI, one issue, Instagram, the post, all those kind of things. We don't know exactly what happened. But now the perception is he's got to get out of this, right? He's to what has been said, he now has told the Steelers they're a cheap organization. And the look is, well, George Pickens wasn't going to get the money, so he's now bagging out the organization, burning his bridges, and they've paid DK Metcalf a 5-year, $150 million deal. So from that sense, it really isn't that cheap. I think he's just salty that the Steelers didn't go his direction. They brought in DK. They didn't like his overall locker room presence. There's been reports out there by the guys in the fields like Alan Saunders, Nick Farabaugh, all those dudes on all the other sites out there in Steelers land. Matt Williamson and Lolly and those kind of dudes that are talking about that he wasn't the most liked person in the locker room. And if you put them all together, he's not the most liked person in the locker room. Next minute, he's coming out with his fire and saying, they're the cheapest organization and they don't stack players and this, and this. It just means he's salty, right? It just means he's salty. So from my view on this, I legit am Steelers through and through. Pittsburgh Steelers team first. The fact that I had to, and a lot of us had to, cheer on Mitch Trubisky when he was a quarterback tells you a lot. You've got to cheer on the team no matter what. If they're wearing black and gold, or they're wearing the away jersey, or if they're wearing the new color helmet that's meant to be gold, or if they're going to Dublin this year, you have to cheer them on. Now, Pickens is gone, left. And also now, it's going to be interesting to see because with the schedule release coming up in the next few days, and also by this time this podcast comes out on SEN, the schedule release, it's going to be Cowboys versus Eagles, which to me isn't really a massive, it's not a huge spectacle night because the Cowboys are a pretty average team, right? But it will be fun and interesting to watch George Pickens on that game, Thursday, September 4th, my Friday, 10 a.m. or whatever it is. I'll probably be streaming it on Steel Nation Oz, and we get to have a look in to see how Pickens is going. Now, the Steelers still have a problem at receiver too. They still have a problem in quarterback, right? But Omar Khan has time. Now, almost with this thing moving around I've heard there's another rumor out there, and we might get into it in the second half. We might have a break very shortly. But Aaron Rodgers was reported to sign up for a golf membership in Pittsburgh, and everyone's like going crazy again and him buying houses and whatnot, and Aaron Rodgers is coming. The longer this goes on, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is coming. I really do think the Steelers are going to go out there, get a Tyler Huntley, get another quarterback. I don't care if it's Carson Wentz, if it's someone to play backup behind Mason Rudolph, and they're going to make Mason Rudolph the guy. I think Steeler fans are leaning that direction the more as each day goes on because OTAs are coming around the corner, and you need a quarterback number one to start syncing up with your receivers, and you need to get on board. You need to pick up the bloody playbook and see how you go. So let's go to the comments from Steelers Nation Live, and I'll see what's going on. G'day, who did I miss? G'day, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. G'day, G'day, 99, what's going on? Sorry, I got my allergies again. My allergies, just sometimes I turn the fan on, it's terrible. Everyone's in their house too. Devil says in the comments, I can't believe GP is gone. We are done. And that's all. I know he's being sarcastic, but it's interesting because I think it would have been fun. It would have been fun to watch DK Metcalf and George Pickens on either side and sprinkle in a bit of Roman Wilson and Austin and see how we haven't even seen Roman Wilson play yet. So that would have been cool and fun to watch and have two great receivers on the outside. But maybe the writing was on the wall at the very start when they went and picked up DK Metcalf to be that guy, to be the number one. Maybe that was a clear indication that George Pickens was always going to be traded. Maybe he was never a receiver one or receiver two, and the Steelers are going to get rid of him. And to my theme of today's show, Zuzi says here, still think that we're headed in a positive direction and building up to a crescendo of that in a couple of years. I do also, because you are getting rid of some of those toxic players, maybe from the Kelvin Colbert era, I think Omar Khan's doing a pretty good job building through the draft and getting guys up front, big guys up front, big guys on D-line. There was a picture going around the internet. You saw how happy Carl Dunbar was with Derek Harmon on one side and Y.A. Black on the other. I heard a lot of the interviews over the weekend in the mini rookie camp that was Y.A. Black and Derek Harmon and just upstanding individuals, and just the size of those men are like 6'6" and they're just massive, ready to go. They also picked up another dude, another big guy, but on the offensive side. I think it was a guard. What was his name? I know his name here before. His name was... there was 3 players who they signed. A running back was Trey Sermon from the Colts. Another bloke was... I'm just scrolling up. Just got to find his name. Yeah, Max Hurlman was a running back. Trey Sermon from the Colts. And another big guy was Gareth Warren, 6'6", 300-something pounds, offensive tackle. Sorry, not guard, tackle. So Steelers are building through the trenches. They're building that way. They're getting rid of those toxic players that are George Pickens. And like I said at the very start, maybe it was all meant to happen. Maybe it was all meant to be the right thing. Maybe that these things, when they did it, when the Steelers cut George Pickens, so many fans lost their absolute mind. Then 4 days later, there's a reason why the Steelers cut George Pickens, because he goes out on tangents and he's so emotional. And look, the game I went to over there in December, Steelers versus Chiefs, apparently he didn't show up until like 45 minutes before the game. So there's probably a reason why that George Pickens was done. Alrighty, Steel Nation. So let's go to a quick break on Steel Curtain Network and also on Steelers Nation Australia. So I'm getting them all mixed up. And then we'll go to a quick break. And on the other side, we'll talk about some of the rookie minicamp players. And we'll talk about some of the quarterback stuff that's still going on because Aaron Rodgers hasn't signed yet. And each day that goes on, he's not doing that. So after this break, we'll come back to some more Steelers talk on Steel Curtain Network.
I'm speaking. Can you hear me? Can you ask me a question? Yes.
Alrighty, Steelers Nation. Welcome back to G'day Steelers Nation and also Steelers Nation Australia. You guys got a quick break on Steel Curtain Network if you're on the podcast one, but my guys here on the live get to see me dance around like a Looney Tune. That is Ray Gun, receiver number 2. That was my fantasy name last year. If you don't remember her, she was from the Olympics. Ray Gun did all those breakdancing moves, and I put her because we talked about Brandon Ayuk so much that she was actually going to be receiver number 2 because she was the one that stood out, right? So now that's come back to, I guess it's come back the same topics around because we haven't got it. But I'm not too worried this year. I'm keen to see what happens with Roman Wilson. I'm keen to see Omar Khan go out and get a receiver. Could it be Keenan Allen? Could it be another vet out there? I don't know. Like, he's got more time now before we start getting into training camp and stuff like that and preseason games. We've got 4 months before we start this season. Now, with the schedule coming out, or already has come out before this podcast is aired, right? Because I'm from the future. And G'day 99, what's going on, right? We have some news. G'day Felicia. She says, it's reported that GP is always late to games, loading on the bus, and it's all coming out. Yeah, it's all coming out right now. Dead set, yeah. And Felicia says here too, Cowboys versus Eagles week 1, September 4. We'll see how GP looks. I'm keen for that game because of that reason. Not overly because it's Cowboys versus Eagles. I think there's that exciting matchup to me. Yeah, it's one thing to watch for the Cowboys to see how George Pickens plays. Right, g'day Jamie in the chat as well. So we have coming very shortly, and as we're talking this live, the schedule's coming out. And later tonight, I might be doing another session of a live talking about the Dublin game. There has been rumors around that sorry, excuse me. My allergies are all playing up. The Dublin game is coming in September. I've heard September week 4, right? But tomorrow on Good Morning Football, I think on their Tuesday I believe it is. That's why I'm going to get times all mixed up because I'm from Australia. I'm talking about Ireland and it's an American game. So on their Tuesday, wait, their Tuesday? I think it's their Tuesday. Anyways, in like 10 hours, they're going to announce. Yeah, your Tuesday in America. They're going to announce the Dublin game. So I'll be going live for that tonight and to see what happens and see where exactly it's going, right? Also, more big things that are coming to the Steelers is the Steelers in Pittsburgh put up this photo of the NFL draft 346 days away and with a big digital clock in Pittsburgh on the North Shore. So things are happening. A lot of things are moving around. We're moving right in the season. We know who we drafted. We just got to find out who's going to be our quarterback. And I'm legit at the point now that this has been now 13 episodes. I think, and every single week I've mentioned Aaron Rodgers' name because he's still linked to us because he has not retired yet. Derek Carr was a bloke out there, reported a few months ago that he had shoulder injuries. He's now retired from the NFL after 12 seasons. Do the Saints want another quarterback? Or is it really just going to be Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers connection? And until he retires, until the Steelers say, no, we don't want him, we're going to be linked. We're going to be linked with this guy until training camp. And I know in the chat, there's like 50% say yes, we want him here, or maybe 40% say yes, and 60% say no. I've now moved around to another jump, and like, I don't care. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. 6 weeks ago, I accepted it. Before that, I didn't want him. And now I'm back around again. That is every day that goes on, I don't care. I would rather the Steelers go on the season with Rudolph and bring in a QB number 2, see how things pace out, and Will Howard to learn from QB3, have a good season, and just run the rock with the rookie. That is Caleb Johnson, by the way. He had a really good little interview, and I saw his, some of his running drills and stuff like that. And they're only going really half pace. I'm not too worried if he's not hitting the bag super tough or whatever that is, right? But I'm excited for this season in that sense, for being a Steelers fan. And Steelers are team first right now because they're building through the trenches, O-line, D-line, and Omar Khan and Andy Weidel too. Shout out to Andy Weidel from the Eagles. He's now been over here a few years. They're building that model. Excuse me. They're building that model that is a Steelers physicality, toughness. And there are guys like that I think are team first and aren't showing selfish qualities from that sense. But this Aaron Rodgers cloud is still hovering over everything because the Steelers go into the camp with 4 quarterbacks. And right now they have 3. Mason Rudolph, Thompson, and Will Howard. And it's still connected because Rodgers has not done anything besides sit back, relax, and he's waiting. I don't know what he's waiting for. I get it's crazy about this stuff. I don't know what he's waiting for. Like, why not just sign? If he's going to sign with the Steelers regardless, why not sign tomorrow? Get yourself ready, get your bags packed, move to Pittsburgh, get everything sorted out, and start training camp and start to throw the football with the fellas. So, I don't know. To me, sometimes as the day goes longer and longer, it's now been 13 weeks. 13 weeks I've been now on Steel Curtain Network on this platform. It's just been like up and down roller coaster. Will he sign? Won't he sign? So that kind of stuff is just, it's from a fan perspective, it's kind of frustrating. Frustrating. But the Steelers, they need to go in a direction of getting rid of the toxic players. They need to start to I guess you need leaders like Cameron Hayward, to really step up again, or TJ Watt to step up, or Minka. And even on the offensive side of the ball, is that leader going to be Mason Rudolph? Is that leader going to be a Zach Frazier at center? Is there guys like that? Is the leader going to be a DK Metcalf in that sense? From the chat, SteelChick46 says Rodgers doesn't want to do all the preseason stuff. I understand that, but at the same time, does he not just? Why not sign? If he doesn't want to do the preseason stuff, could he just not sign and then skip the OTAs or whatever? I think to a certain point, how long can this go for? Like, how long, if we're May and the schedule comes out in 2 days' time, or by the time this podcast airs on Steel Curtain Network, when is it going to be that the Steelers give up and don't pursue Aaron Rodgers anymore? Or does Aaron Rodgers say, you know what, I don't want to be a Steeler? To me, it's the exact same thing last year with Brandon Ayuk. The exact same thing that they were linked to Brandon Ayuk for like 2 or 3 months and it never happened. So this could be a link with Aaron Rodgers for 2 or 3 or 4 months and it's never going to happen. But I do want team first. I think that if the Steelers were to go with Mason Rudolph at QB1, he'd probably step into that leadership role. He would be then probably could he be captain? That's a good question. I'm asking myself a question. Who would be captain on offense? Would you give it to Warren to be captain? Would you give maybe Zach Frazier? Would he be into year 2 as captain? Or maybe DK Metcalf. It's going to be because I think you're going to have TJ Watt, you're going to have Cameron Hayward stepping up as usual on defense. Like that, there's so many vets in the locker room on defense. Maybe not too many vets that are on offense in that sense. There's a good question too. So from the live chat, Gene Smith says here, there's also a rumor he doesn't want to sign until the schedule is out, avoiding getting more primetime games. Well, by now, the schedule is set. We've just got to wait. There's already leaks coming out. The leak was that the Dublin game was meant to be week 4 against the Vikings. We'll see how true that is. I need to try and get there somehow, some way. And for my Steelers Nation Australia fan, I'm planning something big that's going to happen, I think, in the next 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks to help me get there. So I'm going to try and plan something big. And one big shout out too as well for Felicia in the chat for helping me try and get to Pittsburgh. I'm still trying to figure that stuff out as well. I got a lot to plan. I've got a lot to plan over the next what is it? G'day Toddy, what's going on from the chat? The next few months are going to be insane. Trying to get to Dublin, hopefully go for a 2-3 week. I would say probably a 3-week holiday. Save money up. And then straight after that, once the season's over, the Steelers are on the clock and they're draft. They're meant to get 1 million. 1 million people are meant to go to Pittsburgh on the North Shore and on the Point. So I've got to get there somehow, some way. I need to be there. There's like 2 big events, really. The first regular season game in Dublin. The second one, I think, was a preseason game. And also the Pittsburgh Steelers host the draft. Like, this is crazy for Steelers fans who are international like me, how to get around. And there could be a possibility, and I don't know if it's going to happen. There was I think ESPN leaked out, or someone put out that the Broncos are versing the Chiefs on Christmas Day. Could there be a big possibility again that the Steelers play on Christmas Day 2 years in a row? I don't know. And I've been to both of them. I've been to Steelers versus Ravens, where we won the AFC North, and I've been to Steelers versus Chiefs, where we got our butts handed to us. And thank you, Gene. That was an awesome day, chilling next year, having a great time, even though I felt sick because I had the cold or something. We lost 29-10. Could the Steelers go and get do another Christmas Day? You know, there's meant to be 3 games in total. Steeler Chick 46 from the live chat says, I want Mason and get another free agent QB, not Rodgers. I'm the same. I think now it's gone too long. I think Aaron Rodgers' train has moved on. I feel like if he would have signed already. But you just never know with this organization. You never know with A-Rod as well until he says, I retire. But I would prefer them to go and get a quarterback, free agent, whoever it is. Carson Wentz, don't care. Steel Chick 46 says that Frymuth could be a captain. My other mate here, Jedival, says Ray Gunn as a captain. Could be. G'day, Raul Havana from the chat says, I hope we play the Browns in Ireland. I think that would be cool, but I don't think they're going to. The Steelers, I don't think they'll play a divisional game. I've heard a rumor through Twitterland on saying that Steelers are going to play Vikings over there. So that could be a possibility. We'll find out. We find out tonight in 10 hours' time. And by this podcast already came out on Steel Curtain Network, we've already found out who they play. Raul says, I'm going to the draft party. So am I if I can get there 100%. I'm keen to go. TD says here, now we've got rid of our receiver 2, pizza, and pepperoni is out the question. Do we go with mush? You know what? In a pizza topic sense, yeah. Pepperoni is my favorite pizza out there if you are listening on Steel Curtain Network. My favorite one's pepperoni. I don't mind a Supreme after that. I don't mind. Yeah, mushroom and sausage, like something maybe a bit chili on there too. So, g'day, Blue Nose. Welcome to the show. All right, guys, before we get too carried away into pizza talk, I'm going to do a bit of a sound off on Steel Curtain Network, and I appreciate you all who listen to the podcast. My big thing this episode was just getting back to team football. Just team football. I want players who want to win. Who said that? There was that guy from the 49ers. I want winners. Like, I can't remember his name. Someone in the chat, please tell me that is. The guy from the 49ers is like, I want winners. That's what you want. And I know he had a really bad record with the 49ers and he was like talking to, I think, one of the tight ends back in the day, like 10 years ago. If anyone's got that, please put it in. I just can't remember who it was. I can't remember his name. But he had a big speech about it. He's like, I want winners. I want players who want to win. I think Mike Tomlin is doing that. I think Mike Tomlin, as much flack as he gets, I think he's doing that. I think he's getting rid of players that don't fit the mold to be a Steeler. And they'll say, well, why did the Steelers draft George Pickens? Well, you were hoping he could get out of that mess. You know, maybe he had character issues and character flaws, and he's a very talented player. But maybe the Steelers were hoping that they could, you know, I guess, work those issues out of the player. And also he'd grow up in 3 years. And obviously he didn't, because judging by the tweet that he sent out, he's very salty. Very, very annoyed and pissed off at the Steelers and calling out them to be the cheapest organization. Year after year, they go and let them go to. It's just too far. Like they say, yeah, not stacking year after year. And yeah, he's just calling him out the cheapest organization. So Mike Tomlin gets a lot of flack. But at least he's building it and he makes a choice and says, this player doesn't fit us anymore. Let's trade him now before he's a problem. Get picks back, use those 12 picks to maybe get another receiver. And the minute Omar Khan fills this hole the receiver number 2, the Steeler fans out there will be like, oh, it makes sense. It all makes sense. The Claypool move. Some people weren't a fan of the Claypool move, getting rid of him. They traded him to the Bears and they got back a generational player that his father is Joe Porter. And he's unreal for us. Number 24, Joe Porter Jr. Got to wait time to see what happens next at receiver 2 position, or if Roman Mills can fill it in. And it could be the best move, addition by subtraction. By getting rid of George Pickens could be a really good move. So on that note, Steeler Nation, I'm not going away on Steelers Nation Australia live, but I will say goodbye to Steel Curtain Network. And it's been a fun show. George Pickens no longer with us, even though he's having some jabs on the way out. But it's team first mentality. Pittsburgh Steelers team first mentality. Run the rock, shore up the D line, and crash from the edges, being Highsmith and TJ Watt on the outside. So thank you, Steelers Nation. I'll see you guys later. Alrighty, guys, that's my episode. Sorry. That's my audio episode I have to give to Steel Curtain Network. So 33 minutes in. I hope I can remember that. I'll go for a bit longer. Steelers versus Seagulls in Ireland. Love it, dude. I'll go for a bit longer. I just have I wanted to do both at the same time because I can grab the audio and then I can give it to Bad, and then it goes on to Steel Curtain Network. G'day Steelers Nation. So, but I did want to talk about that. I thought it was interesting what he was saying. I don't think they're that cheap. Yeah, exactly right. TD says he's only saying the Steelers are cheap because they didn't pay him, but they're not cheap because they paid DK Metcalf like 150, you know, what do you call it? $150 fucking million for the 5 years. Yeah. Claypool was great at diving into the pool to high point. Dude, he was awful. Like I thought, that Eagles game, I thought, man, we got one here. The Eagles game got 4 TDs. He was one of the worst receivers I've ever seen play the game. He just, how big he was, just did not. He had no physicality in his routes. Like the fact that he got picked off from a guy who was like 5'11", and I don't know. He was really bad. He was really bad. Yeah, I saw Browns doing a big piece on Sanders too. They've got a problem. I think it's very interesting around the AFC North at the moment. Around the AFC North, you've got the Justin Tucker thing where they've cut him, right? They need to fill in a really good kicker. Okay, they could do that. It's a kicker, but half their game is kicking. He was, and what, Claypool was 6'4". He was 6'4", and he fucking, I kind of remember the play. By the way, I can swear now. I'm not swearing on the SCN. I remember the play, like he turned his body, and how do you not high point that ball? I don't know. It just he was really good in 5 to 10 yard routes, but fucking awful as a receiver downfield. And some fans weren't too happy about getting rid of Claypool, but once it worked out and we got back Joey Porter Jr., it was all good. Oh yeah. But the Ravens are going through the kicker. They need to have got to find someone there. The Browns are an absolute mess. Like you'll probably see Browns fans or Bengals fans say Steelers haven't won a playoff game here and here, right? We do have the six championships to back us up. Because at the moment, they're a mess. The Browns are just a wild mess. They didn't want to pay Garrett. Now they did. And then they got 5 quarterbacks on the roster. They drafted 2 quarterbacks, drafted Sanders. That's going to get messy. And also the Bengals cannot pay or don't want to pay the guy who won Defensive Player of the Year last year. I'm pretty sure he won. Right? Did he win? I think he won. Trey Hendrickson, he won it, right? Like he won Depoy of the Year. He's second. Or was he second? Anyways, he got 17 sacks last year. And it was in contention for Depoy, Defensive Player of the Year. And the Bengals are like, you know what? I don't want to pay him. We don't want to pay him. What's the point? We want to pay one of our best players that we've had on defense for a while. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Toddy said Claypool would jump in the end. It didn't have to, and then fall for no apparent reason. He was fucking hard to watch. Teddy says they cut Tucker because he was busy at the massage parlor. And Chick says here, g'day, Chloe. Is Juju still at KC? I don't know, but he won like 2 championships. I'm pretty sure as well. So, but like I said, here's my news. So tonight, Good Morning Football is apparently coming out tomorrow. Right? I read it, what it says on the tweet. So tomorrow, I'll be going live in the morning because the rumor is for the Dublin game, it's week 4, Steelers versus Vikings, but we don't know yet. And I've still got to figure out how to, how to get over there, right? But apparently, the NFL will also announce its international games on Tuesday morning, Good Morning Football. As previously announced, this year's games include the first ever regular season game, Dublin, Pittsburgh Steelers versus someone. So tonight, or my tonight, your tomorrow, right? Sometimes, man, this fucking time difference gets me all the time. Tomorrow morning, I'll do a live from 7 a.m., maybe 7:30 or something like that. And we'll just see what happens. We'll just see. So if you're awake tomorrow morning, jump on. G'day, Rob. What's going on? Yeah, so tomorrow morning on Good Morning Football, they're meant to announce the time and week that the Steelers play in Dublin. The minute that happens, I've got to figure out a way to get over there. Because I've got to figure out, I've got to get there and I've got to get to Pittsburgh. So, but make sure you check that out. And I also have an idea coming up, but I won't tell you yet. And it's pretty big, but I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. It doesn't involve a wheel. But it involves time. And I legit don't know if I'm going to do it. It involves 24 hours. And I legit might think about doing it, but I'd have to probably do it to raise coin to get over there. So we'll see. And I'm not trying to ask for coin, but if I do it, that's the incentive. Because if I did do the 24-hour idea, it's fucking 24 hours. Let's be honest. This has been 39 minutes. That'd be 24 hours of Steelers talk. No real season's done. So tonight I'm going live again, and you're tomorrow morning. Good Morning Football. But in the next few weeks, I could be going live for 24 hours. And if you guys want to give $2, $3, I don't know. I got to figure something out. I got to like get some guests on. We want the wheel. You know what? I could spin the wheel for 24 hours. Because that's something that's been in this channel for like 4 or 5 years. I've never done. Yeah, I've never done. So, but the only way you do it though, because the only way you can do it on YouTube is you have to do it 12 hours. You have to do like 11 hours and 59 minutes. And I don't know if I'm going to sleep. I don't know. I don't know. I got to figure it out. Yeah, dude, I've tried that before. We tried that 1 hour at a party. It's tough. Yeah, I don't know what time I'd start. Like if I did a 24-hour stream, right? I don't know if I would start your time right now, which is 7 p.m. And then my day is like 10:40. So if I did that, I don't know. It's so, yeah. Anyways, it's an idea. But we'll see how we go. All right, let's call it there, guys, because I'm going to be back tomorrow morning. But other than that, I think the team's going the right direction. We'll figure out QB. I'm going to support him regardless. It doesn't bother me. Like, I'm going to cheer him on regardless. But I'm excited though. I'm excited to see what Caleb Johnson does. I liked his interview with the team. I think he's pretty checked in. He seemed pretty humble. I liked the answers from Derek Harmon. His little interview, and I liked the answers from YA Black. He was cool. I think Will Howard's checked in as well. I think that's pretty exciting. So some of these guys are just like hopefully Steelers guys that don't have any character issues or any baggage, and we can stay out of the media. I think all the players now on the roster, I can't really count too many that really is an issue. To be honest, like who's really the biggest like diva or issue on the roster? Calvin Austin's been good so far. Ben Skoranek, legend. DK Metcalf, I think I don't know. DK Metcalf's going to run over people. I don't see too many character issue dudes on the roster. So George Pickens might have been the last guy that's like, okay, can't put up with that guy. And on defense, who you really got? You just got dudes who want to hit. And anyways, Minka will sort them out. Doesn't matter who it is. Minka's going to sort them out. All right, let's get out of it. Thank you, guys. He's got a baking podcast. Are you serious? Hang on, what do you mean? Like a real bacon? Hang on. Like legit? Beanie. He actually does that? Wow, he does too. He does a podcast. So is that where, that must have been where, so that must have been where George Pickens, yeah, I might go to the pub for a meal actually. Go outside. That podcast must have been where George Pickens wrote the comment. That's awesome. You know what? I like the idea. I like the idea of doing a podcast and doing something different. That's pretty cool. Unreal, dude. I should reach out to him. He's got Beanie's Bakery, episode 1, Mum's Banana Pudding. Then he had an episode with, I'm going to look it up. And maybe I'll reach out to the bloke and get him on my show. He's got Peyton Wilson on George Pickens. Okay. So maybe that's where the rumor and that picture came from, was from Beanie Bishop's this photo. That comment came from Beanie Bishop. Is that right? I think so. But look, all the Steelers players are getting podcasts. But I like that. If you keep cooking stuff and doing podcasts together, it's pretty fun. Yeah, I definitely look it up. But yeah, man, I'm still tired from this wedding, so I'm gonna go get maybe a quick beer and some lunch. But yeah, thanks guys, and thanks for listening to the first part of the show too. That was more my podcast style of stuff. Only 135. Okay, dude, I can help him. If he jumps on this show, you get tons of views. But that takes time. That's his third video anyway, and he's a celebrity or whatnot. All right, I'll see you later. Thanks, J Devil. Thanks, George T, Jamie, and TD, and everyone else in chat too. Jim was in there. Chloe was in there. Jamie was in there. Blue Nose was in there. Toddy was in there. 46 was in there. Who else was in there? Baru was in there. Everyone's in there. All right, we're out. I'll see you later.
I'll see you guys later. Put the light, left the light on. See you later. Bye.